Hello and welcome along to Adobe After Effects Basics with your host Robert Smith. In this video we're going to do a bit of fancy trimming of videos. Now this is something you might want to do in your After Effects experience. What I mean by that is in the last couple of videos we sequenced and then we trimmed, but let's do a fairly exotic sort of trim if you like. To do that, I'm going to select my original folder, which is the sequence one, and I'm just going to duplicate it. Apple D to duplicate it. I'm going to use these videos, and again, that's not like copying the videos, just copying the links like that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to open that up. I'm going to select all of those layers like this by holding the Shift key down, and I'm going to duplicate, Apple D to duplicate. So I've got 2 copies of each in there. I'm going to do it again, Apple D. So now I've got 3 copies of each video. And why I'm doing that is because I want to use the same video 3 times, but I want to use different parts of it. For example, on this underwater one here, if I double click on that, let's say I just want that first video to be here. I'll set my in point there, as we did in the last video, to there, and maybe my out point to there. Okay, so I've got a very, very short video. Now if I double click the next video down, it's the same video, but I'm just going to set a different in point. Maybe there, and maybe here for an out point, like that. And again with the third one, it's the same video again. And I'm just going to move it to about here. Let's say I want a really, really short bit, about here. Set my in point to there. So what I've actually done, I'm using the same video 3 times. And because they're in my project window over here, I can trim them at different points. Sometimes you might shoot a 2 or 3 or 4 minute video, whatever, and that's all you've got. And you have to go in and edit it. And this is what you would do. You just duplicate it and go to the section that you'd like. So let's do a little bit more. I'll go to the harbour. Copy, oops, I'll just double click there. So I'll just, a bit of a mistake there. Okay, if I double click on the harbour one, let's say I want this guy to start there. I'll put an in point there and an out point about here. Okay, by clicking on the out point. Great. Now next one again, it's the same video. Double click here and move to about there. Let's say I want that bit and I want this bit here. Okay, great. And here I can double click there again and I can set any in or out point. Now I can do that ad nauseum. I've got 12 videos there. Let's just use those 6 videos in a new composition and see what it looks like. Apple N for a new composition like this, and we'll call this multiple trim like that, and OK. Now I'll just grab those first 6 movies like this and drag them down onto my timeline. As you can see, they don't take much time on the timeline, very little in fact, and they've been trimmed pretty dramatically. So what I'm going to do is I want to select the first one and select the bottom one, then the next one, then the next one up, then this one. I'm just holding the command key down while I'm doing that, so it'll sequence in that order. And go to animation, keyframe assistant, sequence layers like that. No overlap because they're really, really short, and OK. And again, After Effects has sequenced them in that order, and they're all trimmed. So let's have a look at that. This is what you might do if you want to cut between videos or cut very, very short sections, 1-second sections out of videos. This is a way you can do it in After Effects. I'm sure there's a much more professional way of doing it, but I find this quite useful. So if you have a long video and you want to change the order that things happen in it, for example, you would do it this way. And if you want to make it a little bit more interesting for snappy little cuts, just a little tip. Okay, thanks for watching.